Hey guys, it's me, EODGamerZ here. In this video, we're going to be talking about what do you do in the first week of a new league so that you can get ahead of other players as well who do not follow new league strategies. Now, this is part of a series of new league videos that we have. We have a playlist on the channel as well. You can check it out if you're interested. But in this video, I specifically want to talk about the first week of a new league when your economy just reset. So everything is fresh, everything is super brand new, and for the majority of the first few days and stuff like that, you'll pretty much be having quote-unquote worthless items for an end league player, but these are really very important, and I'm going to help you strategize what is the best way you can go about achieving the best profit for your overall account so you get ahead of others in the new league. First thing, the biggest thing that I think any of us can take away is if you are using a filter system, an item filter, this is adapted to end league environment, and in an early league environment, stuff that you otherwise would have filtered out, you will be wondering, where's all my loot? Why is it not appearing? It's because you probably filtered them out. So the first thing that I would do is relax your filter criteria or even remove it at least for the couple of levels until you maybe hit end game maps, and then you can switch it back on. For the early game, please do remember to keep it very relaxed because you want to get as many items as you can from the floor. Any item that you amass is going to help you snowball because you can be using these items for many things. So some of you are asking, EOD, how exactly do we utilize junk that is like low level? Well, not to worry, here is where it is. Let's say I have this junk. Let's say I just buy some random nonsense over here in the inventory. In the very beginning, let's say you pick some of these stuff up, they're worth very little gold. So some of you might be like, I'm just going to leave them on the floor. I can't give two twats about them because they're worth so little gold. You actually want to pick your magic gear up, these magic blue ones, as much as you can, because TPing is free. You don't have like 6 portals in the early game. TP, sell them, and if you see here, 60 gold, 76, 18, you sell all of these items. As you keep doing this, you will start amassing a decent amount of gold. And what I want you to do in the very early game is go and filter quality in any of these shops. This is how you can amass some armorous scraps real quick. Some of you might be remembering what we talked about when you're first earning your pot of gold. This is a very good strategy. You can come into here, filter by quality, go into the next tab. If there is nothing on, no worries. The shop resets every time you level up. And leveling up in the early game is so freaking easy. This allows you to keep refreshing the shop to get a lot more armorous scraps as well. You progress to Act 2, you can go to Act 1 and Act 2 to go for the shops, buy out the quality stuff, get as much armorous scrap as you can. And I would just take these armorous scraps then and go into my stash over here and list it up online. Because in the early game, people might not have access to the currency exchange yet, so make sure you have a premium stash tab ready available. Dump in your armorous scrap. Someone will trade you, ping you along the way while you're doing your runs. Then you can sell these armorous scrap off for regal shards, regal orbs, and exalted orbs very early on as well, because they are quite valuable and very in a sense scarce as the game progresses. They hold quite value decently well compared to the others too. So armorous scrap, something that I'll be looking out for. The others like Arcanist Acture, Blacksmith, Whetstone, not as critical, but stuff like your Glass Blowers, Bobble, pronunciation, my goodness. This is a new thing that was done midway through the first league, so it's not something that's intuitive to us, and some of us might not even have done throughout the entire league. It's very important to go into your magic shop over here and even search quality for this one, even though there's no like armor other than maybe focuses and stuff. You want to make sure that you check the flask as well when you filter for quality, because you can now take the smithing bench, smelt them down to these baubles as well, and you can sell for good amounts just by taking the flask, crunching them down, and then going to your stash here and putting it. So your stash should look something like this, with armor scraps, glass bowls, bauble before the currency exchange comes up, and monitor these markets. That's what I will be doing for currencies. Don't bother about gear equipment. The blue gear, the magic gear, I will just take them and sell them. Don't even bother crunching them down into like transmutation shards and stuff. These are like super common later on. They are going to be like plenty. What's more important is you want the early game goal. And more important than that is the other stuff that is of course important to know. And that is your rare gear. So we talked a lot about the blue gear, you sell them, you get the currency ASAP so that you are able to get a lot of gold. What I want you to do with your rare gear over here, on the other hand, these are worth a little bit more money. And some of you might be thinking, why don't I just sell these 200, 300 gold early on so I can amass the gold faster? That is actually a mistake. selling your rare gear for gold early on is going to be one of the things that inhibits your progress of your account. The reason for that is because you can take this rare gear over here. They're only worth 200 gold, only 300 gold in the grand scheme of things. But in the early game, your currency's value of Regal Orbs are so precious because they are worth so much more in the early game when not many people have access to Regal Orbs yet. Currency is totally new, whole economy is reset. So what I'll actually be doing is going into the shop, disenchanting the rare gear. This allows me to get as much as I can of Regal shards as you are fighting the overworld map. Take your early nodes, early stuff that don't really sell for much, and maybe a good rule of thumb is before Act 3 normal, you can just keep doing this process. After that, thereafter, it might be a bit trickier. So I will get them out, get some of these Regal shards. Once I have 10, I collect like 10, it becomes 1 Regal Orb. I will try to similarly go into the stash over here, put my Regal Orbs, and try to get as many Exalted Orbs as you can. In the first few days of Path of Exile 2's launch, Exalted Orb to Divine Orbs was a 1:4 ratio. If you bought it at 1:4, imagine if you keep getting Exalted Orbs in the early game, you just keep exchanging for Divine Orbs, you will have a plenty of resources. 100 Exalted is 25 Divines. That is crazy amounts. In the early parts also, Regal Orbs were like going is 1:7, so you can easily convert into Exalted Orbs real quick. So then comes the question, as now we are going up, leveling up one by one, we start off with the lower tier currencies, we go up to the Regal Orbs. Now I want to talk a bit about Exalted Orbs and what else to do broadly. But Exalted Orbs in the early to mid game is very scarce. Some of you might have forgotten because we are all running with endgame gear now with tons of rarity, quantity and stuff. But Exalted Orbs before mapping was actually quite rare. So in order to get like good gear that we wanted to pick up, for example, decent boots, decent weapons, which also is very scarce, you needed to pay a lot of Exalted to keep getting these items. So while we are trying to do these methods and getting as much Exalted as you can, you want to keep buying gear to progress faster. Because the faster you progress the endgame, the faster you reach a point where you are gaining currency faster than other players. And then all the strategies that we have on the channel, you will just keep snowballing and snowballing. And our other league strategies, new league strategies, is very important for you to then watch them because you can snowball really hard and you probably will be even like the top 5% reachers if you have enough time playing in the new league as well and you follow these strategies early enough. So that is probably the overall view of currencies. Then comes the next question about gear. How about mid-tier gear? For example, to some extent, this quiver is not really an endgame gear. It is a very high level one. But let's say you get a pretty low level, not that good one. What I'll be looking for is every time you get an upgrade, sell immediately your previous gear. Keep trying to upgrade. If you notice that you can't one bang monsters or you're struggling and you have like 20 Exalted in your back, go and shop. Don't be shy about spending money. Just buy stuff that are better, keep upgrading your gear so that you can clear monsters faster, push to endgame, increase your currency generation rate, which is going to be a lot of your generation in the early game. And then as you get decent gear, prepare your stash tabs in order. So I will have, for example, like maybe one over here. This one could be 10 Exalted, maybe, or in the early games, it's probably going to be like 1 Regal. For example, the bit more junkier ones will be like 1 Regal. And then these ones here, maybe that are slightly better, I'll put them for maybe 1 Exalted. And then you have another tab over here that is going for maybe 2 Exalted, your really good stuff. So don't be fooled by like current economy status. Everything is going for divines, hundreds of Exalted. In a new game, stuff might be even priced in Regals, might be priced in Vals even, or even in like other currencies as well, Chaos and stuff, like for 1 Chaos, 1 Exalted. So you want to adapt to these kind of situations quickly and upgrade your gear as much as you can. That is my best advice for people that are starting out and wanting to get ahead. We will have, of course, more strategies. This is just the currency management for maybe the first week or so of your playing in a new league. If you found this video helpful, we have a lot of other new league strategies that I want to share with you on the channel as well. Check them out, and thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in one of these 2 next videos.